Hello everyone, this is your second and final You Pick Tuesday matchup of the week. Kevin Levrone, HGP, which is the Hungarian Grand Prix, or the Grand Prix Hungary, as I like to call it, 1997. Dorian Yates, 1995, Mr.Olympia. This version of Kevin Levrone may be my favorite, of him. He's big, he's pretty conditioned, and he is defeating Dorian Yates in the front double bicep pose. Very similar are these two, structurally speaking. The midsections, the lat flare, and the chests, very similar. But Kevin Levrone packs much more of a punch in the arms, the biceps, triceps. Not to mention Dorian Yates, a very severe tear in that bicep. Now, is this going to stick with me right to the very end? The 1997 arm, the tear in that arm was much worse, much more noticeable than this one. I'm going to throw that out there. But this is definitely, could be a decision maker, guys. Go to the front lat spread, because that's your aesthetics. You know, you're missing a bicep. It'd be like, for instance, if Dorian Yates was missing one of his lats. I mean, obviously he is winning. Look at this shot. So it's tied 1-1. Or is it? Dorian Yates' torn bicep, that was, you know, that's a little bit different, a little bit more intricate than just simply losing a pose like Kevin Levrone is obviously losing here because of the lats. Look at the size difference. Not a very good angle. This is never the best pose for Kevin Levrone. Not bad. I mean, not bad. The best of the best, you're going to say it's not the best pose for them, and it's still going to look pretty darn good. And Kevin is just that, the best of the best. Go to the side. Now, this is debatable. I understand. Dorian Yates, if this was live action, you know, watching, if you were right there, I understand. Dorian Yates' skin is so thin. He is like some sort of different creature when you're looking at the lineups. He's a different sort of animal altogether. But this is a picture comparison, guys. And judging by the structures, the muscle structure, not the bone structure, but you know what I mean, the musculature of these two dudes, Kevin Levrone he's a macho man. Macho man. Look at the size of his pecs, guys. Not to mention the arms. Dorian Yates, never liked the way he displayed himself in this one, with all due respect. But still, he is winning on the conditioning. Go to the side tricep. If this was 93 of Dorian Yates, I wouldn't even look at this one. I would give him the victory. But here in 95, he just wasn't the same Dorian Yates. Sizing can get a little bit tricky also with these two versions. I believe Dorian Yates, he's standing up straight, therefore I did make him quite a bit taller, but it is hard to say at the end of the day. Kevin Levrone's arm, pretty darn big, but I don't think he has the muscle separation of Dorian Yates. But heck, look at the midsections. He's twice as diced in that area. I guess Dorian forgot to flex. So it's close, you know, heading into the back shots and glute for glute, guys. Not a very clear picture of Kevin Levrone, so you're not going to be able to see real striations in those glutes. But here in 95, wasn't the in thing to flex your glutes. Now, if you watch the video footage, Dorian did flex them as he was going into the poses, and he really was peeled, so peeled. But, you know, guys, this is a picture comparison. So, judging by these two, it's still pretty close. It's on a level playing field. I mean, there may be some creases in Kevin Levrone's buttocks, but it's not what I would call dry glutes. Now, when you look at the back development, it's a Dorian Yates knockout pretty much. Kevin's good and wide, but look at the trap separation of Dorian. So, you know, Dorian's getting the back shot. Go to the rear double by. And this is an even stronger shot for Dorian Yates. Look at the lats. Kevin Levrone, a little bit awkward in this, I guess, for the lack of a better term, with all due respect. It's just not as symmetrical as his rear lat spread. I think I've seen him hit better rear double buys. But anyway, guys, he is pretty darn conditioned. Glute for glute, hamstring for hamstring. He's right there with Dorian Yates. So really, you know, they're on a level playing field. But when you look at the back development, Dorian Yates, he's much better. Look at the traps. He was Dorian Yates for a reason, guys. He's known for his back for a reason. So he's getting, in my opinion, a decent point in the first two, or the only two back shots, I should say. Go to the ab and thigh. Kevin Levrone, he's always getting ripped off in the ab and thigh, let's face it. Because he's always facing guys like Sean Ray and Dorian Yates. Dorian's awesome in this pose. Ab for ab, it's close. I kind of like Dorian, to tell you the truth. Looks a little harder, grainier. Quads, look at the size of the teardrop for Dorian. Some of the biggest teardrops bodybuilding history, but Kevin's quads, massive. They look pretty striated as well. Now Dorian, he always gets an edge with his V-taper. You see his lats? Nobody in bodybuilding has that type of a V-taper. He's not even trying. He's just holding his arms up and boom, there it is. There's my V-taper. Take it for what it is. I'd like to get a good steak. The weather's not very good in England. Go to the most muscular pose, and once again, that bicep makes its appearance. Is it that bad? Might be bad enough to say that he's losing the shot, but I don't know if it's going to affect his overall decision. Now, keep in mind, this really wasn't a pose. This was not a mandatory shot back then. Look at Dorian's chest. Pec for pec. Hey, clavicle width, delts. He's right there with Levrone. But of course, this is not Levrone's best, most muscular. But we're splitting hairs because, like I said, not a mandatory shot. Here is your winner, guys. Could have went either way. And hey, depending on what the judges are looking for that night, you hear them say that. And this video is no difference, guys. If the bicep was really sticking out in my mind like it has before, maybe for that 97 version of Dorian, it's too much. It looked like his tricep was torn, his bicep was torn, and his forearm, and he had a big bulbous elbow. That's a little too much. That's a little too much. But here in 95, not too bad, not too bad. And condition-wise, the back shots, I mean, hey, actually, condition, they were close, I think. Of course, it was clear shots. You'd probably see Dorian edge a huge victory, but he was winning both of those back shots, in my opinion, and it was close, some of the other ones. Anyway, guys, Kevin Levrone, with all due respect, you got to bow down to Dorian Yates. Like a good steak. Oh, yeah, I already did that bit. Anyway, guys, that's your You Pick Tuesday lineup. Have a fantastic week.